There, look at Zirkzee dropping deep. Now play off him. Good. Make the runs. Make the runs. Oh, yes! Is that Zirkzee? Zirkzee! Zirkzee! Hello and welcome to the post-match video as United have won 1-0 on their opening game at home against Fulham in fairly dramatic and exciting fashion, with Joshua Zirkzee picking up the opening goal on his debut, coming on as a sub in the most Zirkzee fashion, dropping deep, getting involved, creating a play, making a run back to the box, tapping it in the corner off of a cross from Garnacho. An incredible salvaging of a game that was actually overall a very good performance. Really, I wanted to discuss the positive, the negative, my man of the match, and go through a couple of stats. The biggest positive for me overall was United's pressing. It was so alive. It was so in control. For the good 65, 70 minutes that you'd want it to be, winning the ball really high, creating chances immediately off of those, not giving, really stifling Fulham, and following it up well enough that we didn't give them too many breaks. There were a few in the beginning where Casemiro was out of position, diving in a bit, and he was struggling, but he actually corrected that quite well and did a good job for the rest of the game. I thought actually had a pretty good game in the end after the first 20, 30 minutes were poor. But I will say that I can see the huge draw of Manuel Ugarte. Fits that style to a T. There is practically not a more perfect stylistic player for United in the way that we play today than Manuel Ugarte. He fits it so well, and I think he's a really good option. And if United do press ahead for him, I can see exactly how he'd fit in there and make us better. And I think it would take it to the next level because he is incredible in that role. So, you know, that was the real positives. Creating the chances, created nearly 3 expected goals, and that's mostly off of errors and transitions and things like that. Needed to finish them a bit more, and I think that the game would have felt a bit different had we finished them. But we had really long spells of dominating the play in my eyes, where I felt we were very likely, and some minor spots where we weren't awake. But you know, outside of set pieces, I never thought that Fulham really had much in the game against us. I thought we did really well to neutralize them. The negative that I would take away from this game, or the thing that's most concerning, was one, I don't think Casemiro has the legs for the whole game. We really need a midfielder in there. It was okay, but it still swings a little bit. There were moments he was really good and moments he was really bad. Overall, I thought he was better than expected, but we need another player to rotate him. At the very least, if he's going to be able to play, we need to keep him fresher. We need another top player to come in. The wing play with the fullbacks was bad. Mazraoui was really good, mind you. That's the other positive. Mazraoui was incredible. You can see the talent there was amazing for him. When what he showed was really good. The center back stepped up in the press really well. Maguire might have been the man of the match for me. He was incredible, stepping into the midfield, winning the high balls, playing on that high line. And here's a huge I told you so to the people who just, in my opinion, follow the crowd on Harry Maguire and don't observe the way that he can play. High line today, he was stunning. He was incredible. Followed up the press extremely well, and did amazingly. Might have been man of the match. Everything about him was good. But the fullback interplay, Dalot on the left, I don't like. I think they need to swap it next time. Dalot on the right, Mazraoui on the left. His left foot is better. He's more technical. He can actually play with Rashford on that side. Rashford and Dalot were kind of very confused with each other. It's not totally surprising, but it is unfortunate because we lose a lot of potential there. We had a lot of good chances. I think Bruno had 2 really good ones. Mount had a really good one off a pass from Rashford in the box. The one at the end that Garnacho missed, but we'd already won, so we're just going to drop it. It happens. Good chances, good opportunities, and created good chances. But my concern are those things that I don't know that Casemiro has the legs to survive that every single day. week in and week out. I don't think he does. We really need a midfielder in there who can do that, and that to me is Ugarte. It's perfect. And the wing play with the fullbacks. Mazraoui was deeper, helping in the build-up more, but Dallo wasn't doing that much on the left. And I think swapping that would help quite a lot to get those a little bit more interplay, combinations out wide would help us a lot instead of isolating the wingers. Now, another factor in that where I think it helped is when Zirkzee came on, we didn't really have as much shape, so it's hard to tell how he would do in it. But I think we would have been a lot better through the game with Zirkzee at striker and Bruno a little deeper and the wingers in there. And I expect next week we're going to see Garnacho, Zirkzee, and Rashford. I think that we'll have that. I think we'll see that. And I think that will be really good in general. My man of the match, I'm giving it to Harry Maguire. I thought he saved a breakaway, was immense in a box, was immense defending high, was immense in controlling the game. One of his best performances in a United shirt as a center back playing in a high line. So there's a huge I told you so, and judging. And he was on a yellow for most of the game too for, I thought, a pretty harsh call on a dive. Looking at the stats in general here, let me see here. Expected goals 2.5 to 0.42, and I think most of those are off set pieces. 4 big chances, we need to put those away. Higher possession, a lot of that was pressing. We only made 2 goalkeeper saves, so even though they had 10 shots, not a lot on target. More passes, yeah, none of that really matters too much. A couple yellow cards. Expected goals was big. And then in terms of the players, I thought Bruno had an okay game. He changed positions a lot. I thought he was pretty bad in certain aspects. There was a lot of times he was too chaotic with the ball for me. The shooting was wild. He accumulated a full expected goal on his own. He missed some wild shots. He should have scored a few shots. Big chances missed too. He's got to step up and finish those chances. Mason Mount is an interesting one because his pressing was stunning. And that one chance he had was a huge chance in the box from the pass off Rashford. One big chance missed. He's got to finish those. But 3 tackles, I think he really put himself about well over there. Ahmad was a bit quiet in his position over here. I don't think he did too much there. Rashford, similarly, a bit quiet. He had the big chance created for Mason Mount. I think he struggled a little bit, still being isolated on that side. I don't think he had the best game, but he did create that good chance, and he created another chance for Garnacho off the mistake at the end that should have resulted in another goal. I don't know which one of those is actually the big chance created, to be fair. It's probably Mounts, because Mounts was a high XG inside the box. Kabi Mainu was absolutely a mint for me. Now, one thing I do want to comment on the forwards, they all pressed really, really, really well, very organized, and helped. Now, Kabi Mainu, look at this. 20 ground duels in 11-1, 5 interceptions, 3 tackles. Holy shit. He was so good out of possession and following up the press. He was so good in doing that. I was incredibly impressed with him there. I thought that was where he was way better than expected for me. And amazing. The way he followed up the press, his positioning, his intelligence off the ball was great. Passing high, great game from him. Casemiro, I thought, again, had a rough first half, or first 30 minutes, but grew into the game a lot. And then his pressing as well. Look at all these tackles. I need to see if I can find a stat on this total because, 20 tackles is pretty good, but the tackling up here was, in terms of the press, was really good. 3 key passes, 2 big chances created as well for Bruno. I think those were coming off of the winning the ball high on the press was fantastic. So I get it. Dallo, I thought, had a pretty tough game. Defensively, good. Defensively, worked hard. Did well against Traore, did well on that side. So no critiques, really. Good tackles, but struggled to get involved offensively in combination. Lissandro, I thought, was maybe one of our weaker players today. There, he had some good moments. He got burned a few times, had a couple weird passes, but I think that's just getting back into match sharpness because he's one who returned late and was playing. Harry Maguire, my man of the match, absolutely stunning for me. Big aerial duels, clearances. Look at this. Can't play a high line. Can't play a high line, can he? Can he play a high line? Yes, he can. Don't give me that shit anymore. This was a high line from our center backs in the opposition half for the bulk of their possession, for the bulk of play. Mazraoui was stunning. Look at this high line as well. Fantastic. Up in there, so technical on the ball, so good with his passing, so secure in possession. And then Onana, I thought was okay. There were some weird wayward passes, but nothing. He made a couple decent saves that you'd expect him to make. He was good on some claims, which I really liked on set pieces. And outside of set pieces, Fulham really did nothing. There was a few corners that were kind of scary, but that was definitely their thing. If you look at the formation, look, very much high. It's a bit odd at times. It's a bit narrow, but you'd like to see the fullbacks come up just a little bit more. This dual tens thing, because you have a false nine, is very much a Ten Hag thing, and yeah, not a bad grouping though overall. Very compact. Look at the gap between the lines from here to here. The gap down here is tiny. So I like that. The gap down there is very, very small, and that's a good thing, because here you sometimes you'd have it here, and that makes big spaces. This was not a lot of spaces, and they really closed it well. So very positive on all of that. I did a watch along, and I was able to bring a couple people in to speak after the game to give their thoughts on it. So I'm going to present that to you. I asked them. I wanted to get fans' opinions. What do they think? How did they see the game? Did they see it similarly? So I asked them their positives, their negative, and their man of the match. Hello. How are you?
Good. I am a little less stressed than I was about 15 minutes ago.
Exactly.
Really good. Yeah, I
Yes.
was pleased with that. I felt like for the first time in a long time, a, a win was coached, in a
Yep.
sense. Like, we were the better team, had the better chances, a little bit scruffy in the middle. But I think if you hadn't have made any subs, we'd have probably won the game. We made subs and still won the game. So it just
Right.
felt like one of those more controlled outcomes, which it's been a long time coming, I think.
Yeah. There was a few open moments, but I don't think the whole game was chaos, and I think that was just a little bit maybe falling back into the habit, trying to force it because we were frustrated at not scoring, rather than at being plan A. Like it was more like we got frustrated and it got a little chaotic, rather than that being like the default, which I think was a positive.
Yeah, it felt like everybody kind of got a, let me try and do something here. Let me try and unlock the door myself. Bruno was doing it, and even in defense, they were just trying to hit long balls. So
Yes.
10 minutes, and then I think they calmed down. Zirkzee was a good
Yep.
influence when he got his foot on the ball. Didn't
Yes.
see much of his press, but I think it was because we didn't really.
The rest of the team was a bit tired to keep that high press up for sure by the
I
time
think
he's
so.
come on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. You were asking three things: positive. What was it? Positive,
Your biggest
concern.
positive, your biggest negative or concern, and then your man of the match.
Okay. Biggest positive. The three new signings, I think they just fit right in. You can tell when somebody is not comfortable or doesn't fit. And I think
Yep.
all three of them, even though we only saw a couple of minutes of De Ligt, they just look like Man United players, which is
Yep.
good. That's exactly what we want to see. So that's my positive. Concern, when Mount went off, and I was worried about this, which is why I didn't suggest Mount as a sub during half time. We did lose the midfield like almost straight away.
Yes. That was
It,
surprising to me, but yeah.
yeah. I think you just got a natural midfielder playing in there, which when it changes to an attacker, they just have a slightly different instinct for the game, which obviously scored a goal, but I think we lost that. So concern on that is when Mount goes off, and we put a striker on, we lose a little bit of control. So that's a concern. And then what was the last one?
Your man of the match.
Man of the match. Mazraoui if Zirkzee didn't score, but Zirkzee scored, so it's his moment. We'll give it to him. But
Very
Mazraoui,
good.
from a technical point of view, I would give it to him.
Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. I would. I think that's fair. I think that's fair for sure. Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on again, Andrew. Appreciate you sharing your thoughts. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks. See ya.
Cheers, buddy.
Hi, hello. How are you? Oh my
Good,
God.
you.
My heart is racing right now. Yeah, I'm just you
Yeah.
know what? I'm just happy we won because I couldn't handle looking at Twitter today. If we would have lost or drew, I just would have been away from my phone for like an hour on a walk.
I know, I know. I hear you. It would have been
I'm
very
so happy we
frustrating.
won.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That entire second half was vibes, but I'm
Yeah.
just glad we won. I'm just
Yes.
glad we won.
So, what was your
I,
biggest positive of the game? What was the thing that was the most positive?
I thought um um what's it called? Garnacho, I actually thought looked lively when he came on. I think he has to start next weekend because now that's
Interesting.
two GA, two GNA. I'm benching Ahmad next weekend personally. Ahmad didn't have a
Fair.
bad game, but Garnacho deserves to start for what he did last weekend today. I thought Bruno on the left wing he did actually well. I was surprised because Bruno doesn't normally do well on the wing, but on the left wing he did well. Maguire, I actually thought had a very good game before he was subbed off, and uh, Zirkzee was calm and composed. Like I think he's gonna be one of those players that you don't really notice much of to the normal person, but once if you focus on him, you notice him. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah,
Fair.
those are my main takeaways.
And what was the biggest concern overall with the team?
The vibes in the second half.
So just kind of
Like
resorting
I'm not
to
gonna
the
lie,
chaos a little bit.
there was no tactic second half. Absolutely
Yeah.
nothing.
I hear you.
I mean, I don't think it was as bad as Wolves last year because last
No,
year
it
for Wolves
wasn't.
we were
Yeah.
terrible for 90 minutes, but in
Yeah.
this game we actually played well. But I actually think like me saying vibes could be just because the scoreline is low. But if we would have scored like the chances we had at the beginning, maybe I would be saying something different. But
Probably.
yeah,
Yeah, a
for
bit. But yeah,
I
I
might
hear
need to
you.
rewatch the game. But as my first reaction, I think it's vibes. But I'm gonna have to rewatch.
All right. And who would you say was your man of the match?
Hmm. I'm giving it to Maguire. I thought he was amazing.
Brilliant. Cool. All right, Rainer. Thank you.
Sweet, sweet. Well, first of all, let me say I just love the content, love the work you do. Thank you so much for all that.
Of
Um,
course.
I gotta say, I mean, I'm just really happy with the results and the way we played. And I mean, just think about last season, this time last season,
I
the
know.
vibes were so off. They were so awful.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously we won 1-0, but we didn't scrape by a win. We deserved this. We deserved
Yeah.
actually like a 3-4.
We deserved a lot more for sure. Yep. Yep.
Exactly, exactly. So
Yep.
honestly, I'm really happy. I think Zirkzee was incredible. Mazraoui was incredible. And I really don't know. I mean, you know, obviously Rude and the other coaching additions really, really seem to have had an impact because it's not like the players overnight just changed dramatically, you know? So I
Yep.
think that had a really big impact as well, but really excited.
Agreed. Yeah. Fantastic. So what would you say like singularly would be your biggest positive takeaway in terms of improvement?
You know, I have to say it's definitely the control we had over the game. I felt, you know, last season watching this team, I was on the edge of my seat in a bad way all of the time,
Yeah.
thinking
Yep.
that we were going to concede.
Yep.
Especially, you know, after we scored a goal and after we scored today, I don't know if you noticed, but I think we really dug in. I think we really,
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
tried to, you know, stave that off this season. So, really,
Agreed.
that's the big positive for me.
And what would be your main concern with how we played so far?
Oh, you know, I just think we need to get firing on the attacking line a little bit more, just a little more coordination there.
Yeah, a
I'm
little more
sure Rude will
interplay.
have the
Mm-hmm.
exactly,
Yep.
exactly. Rude will have the boys kicking off a little bit more there, but you know, that doesn't. It's not too big of a concern, but definitely, I think we need to fix that up a little.
Awesome. And your man of the match.
Oh, that one's tough. Probably going with either Mazraoui, but I mean Zirkzee had the goal, so you got to go with
Mm.
Zirkzee, right? So
Fair enough. Fair enough. The people and their different perspectives. I think most people are in agreement about what was good. Overall, a hugely positive first game for United for me. A good one, a fantastic one. I'm really happy. We can relax. We can top of the table. We won't be because we only had one goal, and certainly someone's going to win by more than one goal this weekend. But clean sheet, top of the table. I've got Zirkzee and Mazraoui in my fantasy, so a lot of good points building up there. Feel smart about that. Really excited. Really excited. I'm very curious to see if it changes what people think, in terms of where we're at. Some good improvements in areas that we needed. Okay, real positive. I think next week if we can get a number 6 in, we're cooking. And then I would like to see a switch at fullback. That would be my main thing, is switch him around at fullback, and that would help a lot. Okay. Enjoy your weekends. Enjoy the opening weekend of the Premier League without the pressure of worrying about United now. We've done it. We've won. Opening game at home. Joshua Zirkzee with a goal on his debut. New signings looked good. Minutes under the belt. Progress made. Thank you all for watching. See you later.